Well, you know, the clock is ticking towards the deadline for a government shutdown, and both parties, of course, are taking swipes at each other this week over all of this. Capitol Hill sources say that yesterday, Congressman John Boehner had this message for Senate Democrats. Listen to this.
Now, the Senate says, we have a plan. Well, great. Pass the damn thing, all right? And send it over here, and let's have real negotiations instead of sitting over there rooting for a government shutdown.
All right, you heard him. Jeb Hensarling had a similar comment this morning. Republican Congresswoman Michele Bachmann joins us now. She's the founder of the Tea Party Caucus. Congresswoman, good morning. Good to have you here today.
Good morning. Good morning, Martha.
You know, I guess one of the big issues here that everybody's watching is where the Tea Party is going to sit on this whole thing, and whether or not the GOP and the Tea Party can come together and agree on a number that will satisfy them once we get something from the Senate Democrats.
Well, the Tea Party actually is coming to Washington, D.C. today. People from all over the country are coming here for a rally at noon at the Capitol. And I think that people are very concerned that we do get a budget passed, but one that reflects their values, which is cutting government spending, trying to move closer to a balanced budget. And also, people are very concerned that we not fund Obamacare. That's what a lot of the emphasis that the Tea Party wants to see. They want to see the government takeover of health care dismantled.
All right. Well, let me go to that point then, because Vice President Joe Biden was on Capitol Hill yesterday, and the signal from the administration is that they will veto, they will not accept any bill that defunds health care as part of the budget.
Well, and what that demonstrates, of course, is that the administration has failed to listen to the American people, because over the course of the last year, Martha, since Obamacare has passed, there hasn't been 1 week where less than a majority of Americans have said, repeal Obamacare. We don't want it. The latest polling has it at 58% of Americans, and the administration hasn't listened. Republicans have. We passed a repeal bill of Obamacare, and now we're asking for a defunding, because, as you know, $105 billion was hidden in plain sight in the Obamacare bill to implement Obamacare.
You know, we're almost at a point with this 2011 budget where it's embarrassing. You know, I mean, you look at the states around the country, and they're all passing their budgets, right? We're still waiting for a continuing resolution and a final budget on 2011, okay? So where do you think this is going to end up? You've got the Republicans around 61. You had a Democrat proposal that's up around 21 billion cuts. These represent a drop in the bucket, I think most people would say. 0.6% of the federal budget is what we're squabbling over at this point. So where does all this end for the 2011 budget?
Well, there will have to be an agreement, because the government won't just shut down and never reopen again. There will be an agreement, and so I want to assure people any of their fears that they might have. But again, it's what will we get? Will it be a difference of several $billion, or will it be something that changes the arc of history, like defunding the government takeover of health care? And so that's really what we'll see, whether or not we'll get a provision like that or not.
Because I think that it looks like that's very unlikely for 2011. Would you concede that?
It will be very difficult to get it.
Okay.
I agree. Very, very difficult. But it is, again, what the Tea Party is asking for.
I hear you. Let's listen to this comment from Harry Reid. I want to get your reaction to that.
Sure.
They can't let the Tea Party call the shots. Our proposal still stands. It's the number the Republicans were for before they were against it. We got that number by relying on reality, not ideology.
All right, so, you know, the number that he's talking about is somewhere around $33 billion, which is where John Boehner started. Then the Tea Party kind of pushed him north up to $61 billion. $33 billion. When you talk to your Tea Party caucus, is that something that you think you can get some acceptance of to move on and deal with 2011 and then really get to the matter, which is 2012?
Well, we're going to continue to fight, and I think the Tea Party has been a force for good, because, of course, we've been pushing for more fiscal sanity. Remember, Harry Reid is the famous person who was behind the cowboy poetry festivals in Nevada. So that's considered essential government spending from Harry Reid. That's nonsense, and that's the kind of thing that the American people want us to get rid of, and that's why the Tea Party's been so powerful.
Right, so
we've been trying to point out the nonsense and get to some fiscal sanity.
So you're not going to give me a number that you feel would be in the ballpark that could make the Tea Party, you know, those elected on Tea Party platforms go back home and say, look, this is a good number. We should all be happy with this number.
Well, I think we want to be closer to the 61, and again, what we really would like to see is the defunding of Obamacare.
All right. All right. Congresswoman Michele Bachmann, thank you very much. Good to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you, Martha.